This week in Clash of Clans, we got more update teasers, ongoing event discussions, balanced conversations from the community, and early signals about where the game is heading next. If you want to stay fully up to date without scrolling through Reddit or Discord all day, this video is for you. Today, I'm covering everything that happened in Clash of Clans between the 15th of February and the 22nd of February, including update sneak peeks, changes players are reacting to, event progress, and what these developments could mean for everyday gameplay. Let's get into it. Update sneak peeks and upcoming events. Over the past week in Supercell and several content creators have been teasing parts of the next update. These sneak peeks don't give us full patch notes yet, but they do show the direction the game is moving. One of the most talked about reveals is the new pet being introduced. This pet is designed to prioritize resource buildings and deal increased damage to them. On paper, that sounds simple, but in practice, it could change farming strategies quite a bit. Right now, most farming focused attacks rely on speed or funneling techniques to reach storages quickly. A pet that naturally targets loot buildings means players could create armies specifically designed for fast, efficient resource runs. This also opens up the door for new attack strategies that blur the line between farming and war-style attacks. Instead of choosing between farming army and a war army, players might be able to combine both approaches and still come out with strong loot results. Alongside this, there has been revealed that there are new levels for existing troops and defenses. While this is expected with most updates, it has a big impact. When troop levels go up, it immediately shifts the balance of which armies feel strongest. When defense levels go up, it forces attackers to adjust pathing, spell usage, and timing. This is important because the meta in Clash of Clans is very sensitive to small number changes. Even a slight increase in hit points or damage can suddenly make one army far more reliable than other. Another defense building that is getting an update is the spell towers. The creators have revealed that the new spell tower will be the Earthquake spell, which creates an area denial and punishes clump troops. This suggests that Smash style armies might face more resistance unless players adapt their spell timing and funneling. If these changes go live, which they probably will either today or tomorrow, players may need to be more precise with troop deployment instead of relying on brute force. That's usually a good thing for competitive gameplay, but it can make casual attackers attacking harder at first. Ranked mode and war format discussion. This week also saw conversation around competitive formats like ranked mode and clan war league. There are indications that Supercell wants ranked mode to feel more structured and less spammy. One of the main criticisms of ranked mode is that it feels repetitive and grind heavy, especially if players are just throwing attacks without much thought. The changes being discussed aim to make each battle matter more. That means fewer meaningless attacks and more emphasis on consistency and planning. If implemented correctly, this could make ranked mode more satisfying for serious players without turning it into something that only hardcore competitors can enjoy. Clan War League is being mentioned in relation to format experimentation. A smaller scale war option such as 5v5 has been teased or discussed. This could be huge for smaller clans or clans that struggle to organize full rosters for standard CWL sizes. A smaller format means easier coordination, less pressure on individual players, more flexibility for casual clans. It also gives creators more focused content opportunities, since smaller wars make it easier to show individual attacks and decision making. Events and rewards this week. In terms of live content, players are still progressing through ongoing events and reward tracks. This week's discussion continued around medal events and star bonus pacing. Some players feel that rewards are more spread out, more thinly across time, while others appreciate the steady flow instead of massive bursts of loot. This highlights a constant challenge for Supercell, balancing reward generosity without breaking the game's economy. When rewards are too generous, progression feels meaningless. When rewards are too scarce, players feel stuck. This week's feedback shows that players are very sensitive to even small changes in how rewards are delivered. There were also conversations on free items and claimable rewards. Players who log in constantly and complete event tasks can still get a good amount of value, but it requires staying on top of the calendar This reinforces the idea that Clash of Clans is rewarding consistency more than ever. Community feedback and player sentiment. Beyond official news, community sentiment is an important part of the story. This week, players discussed the ore economy and hero equipment progression. With epic gear becoming more common, some players feel that progression systems are becoming more layered and complex. Instead of just upgrading heroes, now players also have to think about equipment choices and upgrade paths. For veteran players, this adds depth and customization. For newer or casual players, it can feel overwhelming. The challenge for Supercell will be making these systems understandable without making them trivial. Another major talking point was balance philosophy. Some players believe Supercell is trying to slow progression slightly while increasing strategic depth. That means more meaningful choices but potentially longer upgrade paths. This ties back to Gold Pass progression we've seen recently, where players are questioning value, pacing, and long-term sustainability. What this means for players. So what does all of this mean for you as a player? First, the upcoming update looks like it will encourage more thoughtful attacks rather than brute force spam. If you rely heavily on smash strategies, you may need to adjust your spell usage and troop deployment. Second, farming strategies could evolve if resource targeting mechanics became more prominent. This could make farming faster and more efficient, especially for players who are active daily. Third, competitive formats may become more structured and rewarding, which is good for players who enjoy pushing ranks and participating in CWL. And finally, reward pacing and progression systems continue to be adjusted, which means players should expect small but meaningful tweaks in how they earn value from events and passes. Final summary. To sum up this week in Clash of Clans from February 15th to the 22nd of February, we saw update sneak peeks revealing new pets, new levels, and spell tower behavior changes. There were discussions about improving rank mode and adding smaller CWL formats. Players continued progression through live events while debating reward pacing. Community feedback focused on hero equipment or economy and long-term progression. This week wasn't one massive announcement, instead it was about signals, signs of where the game is heading and how systems are being refined. That's everything that happened in Clash of Clans from February 15th to the 22nd of February. Let me know in the comments which change you are most excited about and what you want to see in the next update. If this helped you stay up to date, drop a like, subscribe for weekly Clash of Clans news, and I'll see you in the next one.